slipped. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I whipped, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peace that's entrusted to me. My belief shattered off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really mattered. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water where it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do, everybody? Squad Nero back up in this thing against your boy Sage, as well as with my brethren Chef D, Croco's Corner, and T Smooth back at you, episode 92. Back up in this thing, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. 2026 is the year of giving, and it just keeps on giving since the beginning to now. We got the Fallout, just honorable mentions real quick. We got the Fallout still coming out right now. We got some other things that we will talk about, and then we have some Marvel updates and Sony updates as well for you today. So please lock in and let's get into this show. Also, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're coming from the YouTube side. From the Twitch side, make sure that you hit that follow, subscribe button, even too. Noti bell, all of that jazz to make sure that you tapped into all of the new content that we're going to have for you. We might do something for that Fallout. We might have something for you Marvel fans. We might have something for you DC, especially with that Absolute series coming out. We might have something for you manga fans and manga fans as well. Just let us know, keep us posted, and we'll get on the job for y'all, okay? Outside of that, brethren, how y'all doing this week?
Doing good, man. No complaints.
I'm looking at these audio podcast views increase. I'm loving that.
Love to hear that. Appreciate y'all for tapping in.
Yeah, thank you.
What about you, Smooth?
Bills won. We're here for another week. I'm ready for another crazy weekend.
Dang, that sound gloomy.
We are here. And getting over whatever nonsense I'm getting over.
Big dubs.
Yeah, brother.
Big dubs.
When you say that, did you get hit with the demon, the cursed energy sickness that's around?
Surprisingly, no. It wasn't that.
Good.
It wasn't that.
Okay.
It was my allergies flared the heck up to the point where it felt like I had a sinus infection, but not in that level.
Gotcha.
That man Drake made through an interception. Love to see it. All right. Glad to hear that y'all are good. Prayers up for T so he could get over his sickness. Nonetheless, we back up in the thing. I already asked this, but JJK season 3 Culling Game has started, folks. If you don't know, me and Niall have been super tapped into JJK.
Don't watch any of our older shows.
JJK Medulo for quite some time now. That's the sequel for JJK. But now we're getting the Culling Game arcs, one of the most important arcs before the final arc for the story. First 2 episodes. Who's watched it so far?
I have.
I have not watched it.
Have not watched it? All right. So
we can do a spoiler-free version.
Spoiler-free. How would you ain't even got to do that? We ain't got to go too much into it because it'll be spoiling too much. Nonetheless, now out of 10, how would you rate those first 2 episodes?
9. Yeah, I give it a 9. Animation is JJK got this. That's why I had a discussion with y'all. I said, okay, well, we saw the numbers that Demon Slayer did in theaters. If JJK decided to end on a movie, boy, oh boy, I do think that those numbers would be up there for the simple fact that it's what they do is not. They don't have the same level of art. Like I still will put Demon Slayer as like it's just different when it comes to artwork, but JJK, what they do is it's almost like they're not trying to beat out Demon Slayer or they're not trying to become like the top dog. But what they instead put a lot of their focus into is the choreography and it is appreciated, bro. Like this episode, these two, because it was 2 episodes, right? Yeah, these 2 episodes. The one didn't really have any action. The second one, the first one, though, when we get that kind of moment in the very beginning, not even the very beginning, throughout the whole episode is that whole entire scene. When we get that, like that fight didn't even really matter in the grand scheme of everything, and it's just done so. Like it's so much detail in regards to like each and every single step that's made throughout that, at least the very beginning of it. But even towards the end of it, the way that they did things and the way that they kind of had certain characters, their interactions and meetings with each other was just phenomenal. Dude, I don't know how, like the pacing of it in regards to that, I think that was solid for the first 2 episodes. I don't know how many episodes JJK, this Culling Game's first arc, is going to have, but I do think that like they know that they got a lot to get through, and they just being like, all right, let's just get to it. Like we're gonna give you as much, like there's gonna be episodes where there's background in it. Definitely can see that, but it's not going to be something where they harping on it or they lingering on it. You may get one backstory episode. It may be the next one that we have coming up, episode 3. But I don't think that there's going to be many episodes like that within this season, which I think is going to add a tremendous amount of hype to JJK and to the Culling Games, period. So, yeah, I think for the first 2 episodes, it was solid. Like it was ideal how I would want an anime season that is very anticipated, that already has some bones in the game to come back out and give us for the first 2 episodes. So yeah, I'm at a 9 out of 10 without spoiling anything.
I got the same, and I think this arc is supposed to be focusing on the Sendai colony for the Culling Games. Majority like a Utah fighting. It might go into, I believe it might actually finish Maki's story, if you remember that from the manga. And I think we also might get introduced to Hikari. Folks who haven't read it, y'all won't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But folks who have read it will understand what I'm talking about. I believe that's what they're talking about. Because I think they're going to do the Culling Games 2 parts. Second part, obviously, is where it ends. And then we get that shit that happens with Sukuna. Nonetheless, I give it a 9 out of 10 as well. The fight choreography is top tier. Their willingness to try new animation ideas too. At first it caught me off guard, but over time I just grew an appreciation towards it at the same time. Like how they was trying to convey a lot of things, it was pretty dope. So kudos to JJK. Appreciate y'all for finally coming back. It took y'all long as fuck, but nonetheless we are here. It wasn't that bad. Another honorable mention as well for the anime or manga side, Japanese side as well. Sentenced to be a Hero is a new anime. I actually stumbled upon it. One of our bros, I believe, put us onto it or put me onto it. Oh, from Blurred, if I'm not mistaken. Talked about it. Shout out to Blurred. Oh Lord have mercy. Is this new Undercover Heat? They only dropped the 1 episode. I believe it's an hour episode. Yeah, it's
like the equivalent of an hour because there's like advertisements and whatnot in the original Japanese broadcast of it, but we not in Japan, so for us it's about 45 minutes, but it's a solid 45 minutes.
New episode, new anime, kind of got us intrigued, I think. For everybody who tapped into it, so please tap into that. We ain't got to do too much because it's only 1 episode.
What was your first impressions of it, Sage?
I'm interested. I'm not gonna lie. The first episode, I was in and out of it, but that was probably because I just wasn't paying attention as much. But I can see the foundations from what they're getting at. I can see the foundations of a good story. It's just not too much behind the story for me to get behind. I haven't read any material or anything like that, so I can't really be invested too much. But at the same time, it did pique my interest. How about you?
Yeah, I can honestly, for the most part, completely agree with you. Um, there's definitely going to be kind of like a what I think at least is like kind of like a political system that's involved, which it can. When animes do that, they tend to be somewhat interesting for the most part. So I'm really intrigued to see exactly how that works out. As well as that, the circumstances that they laid out for the main character is one where it really piques interest in regards to wanting to know exactly how that's going to develop and grow going forward. Because I don't know what this scenario is going to be like. These demons, they left that part like very open. So I don't like if that was level 1, which was a lot. It makes me very curious to see what the upper levels look like in regards to those demons. Art was phenomenal. It was I'm interested. I know nothing about this. I know nothing about this series whatsoever. Did not see it. Did not see it in manga, anything. So I love that I get the opportunity for something like this to be able to more or less go in blind.
Alrighty then. So tap into that sentence to be a hero on Crunchyroll. It might be some new undercover heat. We are interested in that. I gotta tap in to see. Do we know if it's a manga?
I don't know.
I feel like it has to be. It has to be.
I imagine there is. I just know nothing about this
We gotta tap into
anime.
Nonetheless, if you got some time, tap into that sentence to be a hero or that JJK season 3 first two-parter. Also, again, like I said earlier, Fallout is dropping continuously right now. New episodes every week. And soon we'll have, I guess you say, the big 3 coming out at the same time. The Boys, Invincible, and I can't remember the other third.
Wow. Aunt Prime taking 2 of them.
I can't remember the other third. Damn, what's the other one?
Damn, I don't remember either.
It's not X-Men 97.
Wonder
is it?
Man?
Oh, X-Men 97, right?
Wonder Man.
Oh.
It could be X-Men 97. I can't remember.
X-Men 97 coming out this soon with Wonder Man coming out?
X-Men 97 come out in the, oh no, my bad, in like springtime.
Okay. I can't remember the third one. We'll come back to that. Nonetheless, they got a big 3, and we know the 2 as of right now. So be on the lookout for that. Nonetheless, as y'all know, Doomsday is coming out. Marvel has got the thing on the chokehold. Big shout outs to DC still though. What's that new DC comic that they had? Arkham.
Yeah.
Absolute Batman.
Yes.
Arkham. They made us a little special. Giving us more of a description of Joker and his background and everything like that. Phenomenal series, phenomenal universe and comic book run as of right now. We've told y'all this week in, week out. So tap into that. Nonetheless, you know, we like Marvel over here, and Doomsday is coming out this year, so we got to tap in. Damson Idris. Something is going on. What's going on this weekend? What's going on today? Something going on with all them actors, and they all meeting up right now. I got the tweet if you want to pull that up real quick, T. It's got the video and everything like that.
Oh, where's the tweet?
Damson Idris was actually asked. It's in the podcast notes. Damson Idris actually was asked about a potential role in Black Panther, and I didn't want the guys to see it because I told them there's a certain type of lingo brethren of our complexion talk with in order to keep things down low, and I'm curious if my brethren feel the same way when they hear Damson Idris talk about potentially being in Black Panther. So as soon as we get that up, we'll watch it, and I want to hear y'all thoughts on it.
I think he's going to be Black Panther.
You already?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually 2 rumors. There's always the rumor about like, oh, could Damson play Bond? You are British, so you would make sense. But there's also that rumor that you may end up in Wakanda one day. What does it mean to hear yourself associated with Black Panther in that way, and that fans would want you in that way?
I'm thankful to the fans. You know, of course it's rumors, but I love the movie. I love that world, and I'm glad that everyone's seeing the future of that too, because it's moving in a brilliant direction. And I'm excited for the 3rd one.
Yes. I was like, do you have? I mean, Ryan will be here later. Do you have any ideas to pitch him, even if you're not in it?
Just make sure it's amazing, but I know he'll do that.
He ain't say nothing too crazy right there. At least.
Nigga, Rob got me thinking
I think he was
No, as niggas now, we understand when niggas is talking, trying to keep things on the down low. Hey yo, your man sell that fall over there? I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean maybe type of thing. He keeping it. He's not answering it directly, but he's answering it at the same time. If you feel me. Mm-hmm. He's not. He could outrightly just say no.
I think he's gonna be right.
I think just say no, but he's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it the brother kind of lingo as more so. It's the MCU lingo. It's the Marvel. Anybody that's in Marvel, this is what they required to do is exactly this. And he sounds like somebody who has a role in Marvel and was told to keep it secretive. I think that he's gonna be Black Panther. I think that he'd be a solid Black Panther too. It'd be nice. It's just gonna be nice to get T'Challa, adult T'Challa, back. So I really am hoping that the speculations and rumors aren't just speculations and rumors, and it really is. This really is happening because I love it.
Do y'all care if it's T'Challa or T'Challa Jr.?
Man, make it T'Challa. Fuck.
I don't care.
I personally
if Damson Idris is playing grown up T'Challa Jr., I wouldn't care.
But you're not understanding, bro. T'Challa is the fucking gosh. We need to. Bro,
he's still T'Challa.
We have seen T'Challa in what? 4 movies, but we haven't seen T'Challa in his full glory. Coming up with cures, contingency plans, being the ruler of Wakanda. We've seen him in the U.S. chasing niggas on the highway. We've seen him in Infinity War. They already whisked him away when Thanos snapped his fucking fingers. How, bro? They should have kept him.
I get where you're coming from.
They should have kept him alive because for Endgame, a nigga like him being a resource for Wakanda is like, yo, this is showing off Black Panther's intellect. I get they want to have the OG Avengers, whatever. That's a good way to segue into this new era they bringing in. You need T'Challa, bro. You're just saying T'Challa Jr. is like, all right, fuck it, we don't need T'Challa. Just have it be T'Challa from another universe.
Yeah.
We need T'Challa, not T'Challa Jr. That was 8 years old 4 years ago. It's like, all right, how much age enough?
Yeah, I feel you. You sold it. You sold me on it. Yeah, it should be T'Challa.
He's youthful looking enough to be like a young king, where we can still see intellect. He has struggles with running the country, but you still have, T'Chaka passing on that wisdom and everything. So he's not nervous about it, but it's like you have a dude that you can work with to be the Black Panther for the next 10 years and work that up. Like, don't just be like, all right, fuck it, bring in Junior. It's like
bring in Junior. Yeah.
Like, all right, bro.
I think that was a good point.
What
I really
if they do a lot of the things that you want out of T'Challa and just give the storylines to?
Nah, that's missing.
That's like having Miles Morales be the nigga that figure out shit Peter's supposed to be doing. That's like having Dick Grayson being the nigga that Batman should have been.
Do we have a T'Challa Jr. in the comics?
No.
Just because it happened in the comics, nigga, don't mean it happened.
But it hasn't happened. I don't believe it.
I don't think so.
I don't think he named any of his sons
or whatever they named that nigga. But it's like, bro.
Oh yeah.
You don't give a care because then that just shows. All right, fuck it. We'll just pass his legacy on to the Junior. It's like, bro, like.
Nah, D-Right. You can't. D-Right. It was way too much more to show about Black Panther or T'Challa.
Niggas wouldn't pass on all the shit Goku did to Gohan.
They technically did.
God damn it.
They technically wanted.
But I'm saying the shit we seen Goku do, niggas wasn't like, all right, let's just end Goku at this arc. And then, all right, since Goku's dead, let's give.
Yeah, you still saw enough development with Goku to Dee's point. It's like you got Kyle Ken. You got him trying to. First of all, before that, you got Child Goku with the little extending pole thing, pause. Then you got Kyle Ken Goku. You got him going Super Saiyan, something that the race hadn't seen for the first time in a long time. By the time we get to Gohan, when you really think about it, Goku did a lot. He got a lot. He did a lot in that time. And to D's point, I do think that that's fair. You got this opportunity with a young T'Challa, somebody who assumed the throne, young but still has all of the discipline. You got a perfect opportunity to watch this T'Challa grow up into the T'Challa that you like want to see. Something that is someone that's that pays homage to the comic book, but also at the same time has unique elements to it for the MCU that can be valuable. Can that be passed down to a T'Challa Jr. at some point? Sure. But I think, again, to D's point, trying to force it now when the MCU side of things is so very new to the character of T'Challa, why?
Yeah, bro, fuck that.
I felt like ESPN right there.
I still
Bro.
do.
All my points are gonna be like that.
I feel like it wouldn't matter if it's T'Challa Jr. They still have the same name. I'm not really too vexed.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt initially, but I do think that D brings up great points.
But it's like, what T'Challa Jr. would that be? It cannot be that little boy we just seen in Black Panther 2.
No, obviously they will age him up. And that's where Damson Idris comes in.
But that's
he's playing
aging him
like
up.
the younger.
We're aging him up. If you age up Toussaint, that means Cassie Lang is also aged up. That means Peter Parker is aged up.
No. They could figure out some ways in order to bring forth his variant, Toussaint's variant from a different universe, just aged up.
Bring T'Challa variant. Why the fuck we bringing Toussaint?
Exactly. I skip over T'Challa.
You not, bro,
For
Rob,
Toussaint in that situation.
Because to have Toussaint, he's already like, no, you need T'Challa variant because you need T'Challa and Storm. Don't do no Toussaint and Storm because now you giving a whole legacy to a made up character.
That's another
in the
good
universe.
point.
It's like, no, now you're just doing too much. Now granted, because we have Lupita, Black Panther and Lupita had their little thing. If you bring into the MCU a different T'Challa, he's able to be like, all right, cool, I'm about to be with this Storm joint. If you be like, oh, this is actually T'Challa Jr. that falls in love with Storm, it's like, no, because now y'all just trying to change shit. Like, bro, just have a nigga make T'Challa.
But I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of the MCU, though.
What's the point of MCU, Rob?
To be able
Storm
to convey
with
the same
T'Challa's son
storylines, but
feel
also
weird.
change shit enough to be able to convey the same stories from the comics, but also change it up enough where it's not a one-to-one adaptation. I don't see the difference between Damson Idris being called T'Challa or T'Challa Jr. He's still at the end
But
of the
he's
day
not
gonna be
T'Challa Jr. He's Toussaint.
His name, African name, is still T'Challa. That's why he said it.
But it's like,
When
bro,
when he was asked.
they introduced the 8-year-old boy. If you saying they can just age him up and explain it in a variant form, that's like if Pedro Pascal passed away and they said we can't fucking recast Reed Richards, damn that. They'd be like, you know what? Franklin. We're gonna have Franklin do all the shit Reed was supposed to do. And then we just gonna have a Franklin variant come in and he'll be the Mr. Fantastic. It's like, bro, that shit don't work like that. Now, granted, Black Panther is a mantle.
I think it'll be a little bit different.
Bro, I get that Black Panther being a mantle and you want to pass it off, but it's too much shit in the comics for us to be like, you know what? Let's just bring T'Challa's son in and give him all of these fucking feats of strength and intelligence and shit. No.
Yeah, why tell us new storyline when you got to continue in one that you, in a sense, left off on? And bringing Damson Idris in, you could kind of pick up from.
You could pick it up from the sun, I guess.
No,
I
you could
know.
pick it up. You could pick it up for T'Challa. Is the point? Is they didn't want things to end. Unfortunately, a wonderful actor passed away in real life, and so they had to pivot very quickly. But they didn't want his story to end right there. Nobody wanted T'Challa's story to end right there. The billions of dollars didn't want T'Challa's story to end right there. So it like. You gotta, if you have an opportunity to bring T'Challa back into play, why not just take advantage of that opportunity? I can't find enough reason as to why you wouldn't do that versus why you would bring in his son. T'Challa's son could still exist. In this scenario, T'Challa's son can still exist. If a variant of T'Challa exists, that you still could leave that plot line kind of open, especially if he's somebody who makes it past Secret Wars. You could leave that plot line open. Is he this T'Challa, Damson Idris' T'Challa's son? No. But he is a Black Panther's son. He is a T'Challa's son. So you can leave, like, why not just leave that for the future and use this variant as a way to continue what you wanted to continue in the first place?
I don't know. It all depends, I guess, on the story they wanted to do for Black Panther 3. I guess. So if it's T'Challa Jr. that they go with for the foreseeable future, y'all niggas not supporting Black Panther?
Dude, D gonna be in Doomsday sick. Like, yo, I know they ain't just dropped the ball like this.
Bro, because you dropping up, like, bro, like, think about it. What other character would they do that for? Like I mentioned, they not about to, if Tom Holland fuck around and leave us, they not about to be like, you know what, bring in Miles, bring in that black man so he can fight Lizard and have Venom and do all this and that.
Nah, they are.
Fuck no, they gonna be like, get another white man in that role right now.
Nah, they are.
I'm gonna be
They already
honest
doing
with
it.
you though.
Rob, they about to. If Tom Holland passed, or God, let's say he quit or whatever, or something happens,
That'd
they
be
don't
the
have
easiest
Spider-Man,
way.
and they got a Miles Morales coming in. They not gonna give him all the Peter Parker arcs.
No, but I'm saying, like, what I'm saying is it's the same name. Forget the character. Forget T'Challa Senior, T'Challa Junior. It's still T'Challa at the end of the day. The only difference is T'Challa was the Chadwick Boseman was the son of T'Chaka, and this T'Challa is just the son of T'Challa.
But he's not the only T'Challa in the multiverse. Everybody get a variant but T'Challa?
But it's nothing. I think they just want to, and it could be Ryan Coogler. He just doesn't want to step upon the legacy of Chadwick Boseman as that specific character. And I think this is his way to be able to do it while also conveying those same T'Challa storylines that folks love about the comic books. His same battles with Doctor Doom, his same battles with Namor.
That nigga played Black Panther 3 times.
It can still be T'Challa, huh?
He played the Black Panther 3 times. What are you talking about legacy? Now, if you're talking about Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, all right, we got something to say about that.
I don't know, cause that was one of the only solo films.
If we had a poll right now and said who belong here in this photo and who don't, you got Hugh Jackman. What's the niggas' names? Hugh Jackman. What's that nigga name? Robert Downey Jr. and you got fucking Chris Evans, and then you put Chadwick Boseman in the box.
I promise you, a lot of niggas is gonna be like, keep all of them.
Yeah, not me. Take Chadwick out.
If
we talking about legacy,
like, keep all of them.
4 movies
Again,
legacy. Yondu been in like 4 movies.
What nigga do you know had niggas pulling up to the theaters in dashikis?
The character of Black Panther, not T'Challa.
No. What nigga do you know who that played a character in a movie that had niggas pulling, by and large, pulling up in dashikis?
That don't mean you can't recast that nigga. What you think we all about to wear to the Blade movie?
But that's what I think is their innovative way of recasting. They don't have to recast specifically T'Challa. They can recast another T'Challa and use it.
I got my trench coat on pre-order when Midnight Suns drop.
If we got a multiverse, there is a T'Challa out there. Nobody is like, I hope they don't recast that nigga and use it T'Challa Jr. Bro, the fuck out of here, bro.
It's niggas out there that respect y'all, that have the same sentiments as y'all. I just can't get behind it. I don't necessarily care. As long as it's T'Challa, it's cool with me. Shuri is cool. I would like to see Shuri's story finished.
They gonna
fully,
I think that's happening.
Fully. But I don't mind a T'Challa or a T'Challa Jr. I truthfully don't give a damn.
T'Challa, I feel like Doomsday, cool. We gonna get a new Black Panther. Because niggas is not about to line up to see Shuri. I won't be going to that movie.
Nah, I think what they'll do is they gonna do like a finality to Shuri, but the same way that the comic book worked, where Shuri's part ended. We got T'Challa back. I think that that's going to be the opportunity that they kind of swing on with this. Excuse me, with this movie, is she's going to meet a moment of crisis, and to be able to see that there's somebody else there that has the name of her brother, even though it doesn't look like her brother, may be able to provide her some comfort or some support. And then knowing that he already has those roles, he has these roles solidified in his own universe. Well, that's where we'll start to push back into the story of T'Challa, just this new T'Challa. I don't know if it would happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. What I would say is, do not get upset if that part does not happen in Doomsday. That portion may happen in Secret Wars. It may make the most sense for it to happen in Secret Wars 2, because I don't know if the Herb acts the same way as the Infinity Stones in the MCU, but if it's something where you can only have one Black Panther per universe, it may make more sense when Doom is at the final stages of his plans and we get the battle world, that you get that introduction of a Damson Idris T'Challa. They not going to leave, I don't think at least, that they would leave Shuri's Black Panther saga open-ended. I think that they will have some level of finality to it. I'm just warning you.
Get a nigga like Damson Idris, who was just in movies with Brad Pitt, who just finished Snowfall, and be like, yo, my nigga, look at here. We gonna sign you up for this movie to be Black Panther, but we gonna keep you in the back burner so we can finish off Shuri's story.
Secret Wars is a part 2. They introduced. They probably gonna be introducing a lot of characters.
In June. It's already reports that they filming Black Panther 3 in June.
Yeah, but we just can't expect the mantle to just be passed and they could just be like, oh, okay.
What you mean? We just did it in Black Panther 2. We just can't expect the mantle to be passed. We just seen it.
My thing is, I think if you have alive, the thing is, we can't. The reality is, we can't just write. If you want to just go by the money, this is true, but we can't just write off the whole narrative that just happened with Shuri.
Nigga, you don't go get. I'm fucking up with names today. You cannot go and get a nigga like Damson Idris, who just coming off the success of an F1 movie and doing all this shit and be like, yo, my nigga, we got to finish this Shuri shit. We don't have to finish Shuri. He ain't finished Eternals.
Oh, bro, listen. The thing, though, is they could just have signed Damson Idris to a contract, and they start filming for Secret Wars, if I'm not mistaken, this summer. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's not... The contracts and everything could line up for filming for him immediately. It's not something where they putting him off to a back burner.
So what we got to finish off in Shuri's story, though?
That's for us to see.
Exactly. Niggas don't even know where the story would go.
No.
Shorty got her mom clapped. Trusted that nigga, and now they working together. Niggas about to say, we got to see the finality of Shuri's story.
Coming to grips.
You can't just write her off, D.
You can't.
Bro, we just wrote off mad shit in this universe. What are we talking about?
This is a character who is alive. There ain't no reason as to why you would have to write her off.
We wrote off the Eternals. They had a whole fucking movie and they in Judgment. We have not heard from these niggas since 2021. What are you niggas talking about?
They're written them off though.
Later
when the last
on,
time they mentioned Eternals, bro?
Just because you ain't seen them.
Just because we ain't seen them.
We had a whole movie with the Tiamat nigga in the Indian Ocean. They ain't mentioned not one
Captain America: Brave New World.
They did not mention.
They didn't mention Eternals in that.
They just
niggas talking about
because nobody knew about the Eternals at that point in time.
We got all the surveillance on the world. Nobody's seen niggas run around building spaceships out of nowhere.
They probably don't know who these niggas are still, because Kit Harington was the only player who is a human that was told about this shit.
My whole thing is with the whole Shuri situation, it's possible to just like make the jump to Damson Idris.
Thank you.
And just literally just have her go back to being a scientist of Wakanda. Her story still would continue on. If you remember, she didn't really want to take up the mantle of the Black Panther. Because it took her a while to be able to do that during Black Panther 2. So if she sees Damson Idris and he's like, hey, I'm willing to stay in the 616 and be the king of Wakanda, like after he has his fight with M'Baku to take over the mantle over there, she could take the back burner and go back to being the scientist that she was for T'Challa, like the original T'Challa.
I'm not-
It's possible.
So I'm not arguing with you with that. My question is this. Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday is a movie that's centered around a bunch of characters. Having a push for that be more so explained in Black Panther 3 versus in Doomsday, I could understand, is all I'm saying. And if they don't have the push for that in Doomsday, then naturally the only thing left for them to do is to flesh out the story of Shuri as this Black Panther. It won't be a major focal point of Doomsday.
Nigga,
But
they
it's
not even. My bad. Go ahead.
no, I don't think that it'll be a major focal point of Doomsday. I think even when we do have an interaction with, because I really do think that Secret Wars will likely be the best place for all of these different variants, including the Black Panther variant, to come into play. I think right now, like Doomsday, the movie Doomsday, I think that's the build up to this moment where you have all of these different characters. We may see new X-Men that may carry on into the X-Men saga in Secret Wars. I don't expect to see them in Doomsday. So I think if you push the variants that are going to be all condensed into whatever Doom is making in Secret Wars, that to me just makes the most sense. So again, it's just a progression for Doomsday. I think that would happen, and it just so happens that progression for Doomsday, as it will fall for the Wakandan side, will be a continuation of the story of Shuri as Black Panther. But I think that a lot of the things that y'all saying will be fleshed out in Black Panther 3, and I think that the introduction of Damson Idris as Black Panther will get in Secret Wars. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think we about to get Anthony Mackie's Captain America fleshed out?
Yeah.
Even though they bringing back the nigga that was.
They're not bringing back.
Oh, they're not bringing him back for good.
They're not
Yeah,
bringing
he
him
not
back
coming back
indefinitely.
for
Y'all
good,
say
bro.
that until these Avengers movies hit $4 billion, they're gonna be like, look here, nigga,
That's
you gonna be in
cool
charge
and all,
of
but
the
Chris
Air
Evans
Force.
doesn't want to come back. So,
Rob,
Yeah,
this
you
is Robert
can't
Downey
see the
Jr.,
person.
and he playing a whole fucking Doctor Doom. He said, "No, I'm done. I want to rest be with my family and do
that's
other projects."
true, yeah,
That nigga did
but that's
Oppenheimer,
only,
and Marvel said, "Yo, here go
that's
a blank
only
check."
when they had a compelling enough story, such as Doomsday, the same character that Robert Downey Jr. did an audition for.
These
to
niggas don't
begin
care about
with.
compelling stories.
Yes, they do.
Man
That's
3
why
was
the
compelling?
MCU is this big as it is.
Oh, Iron Man 3 was compelling.
Nigga, not every story was compelling.
So
but
then why
it
the
don't
fuck you
mean
sign
that
on
the
for it?
main stories wasn't compelling. Avengers was compelling. Iron Man was compelling. Captain America Winter Soldier was compelling.
Was Thor
Fucking
4
Ant-Man
compelling?
could have been compelling.
Was any
Thor
Thor
4
movie
wasn't
compelling?
No, but that doesn't mean that everything is shit.
Was Captain America 1 compelling?
It wasn't to me, but it
A
could have
lot
been
of
to a lot
people.
of other people.
But I'm saying, Robert, they go Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. They give it.
They
these
don't.
niggas
They're
bread.
literally. The rumors is literally saying that they're looking for a new Wolverine actor right now.
Robert, but they bought him back.
So
They gave him-
what?
I'm saying, you think, bro?
Oh, I pray he not gonna be there long, though, bro. Come on now.
And Anthony Mackie
Don't
not
do
gonna be there
this.
long either.
He is
Anthony Mackie. has
What
been-
reason would he not be?
right.
Excuse me.
Yes, what
reason
reason would he not be?
Nobody gives a fuck about Falcon.
Sure,
being Captain
but they
America.
do. But they do.
$400 million says otherwise, sir.
$400 million. They don't give a fuck about that. They want about 800 million, a billion. And they
it's
say, God
still
damn it,
so-
if we got to bring in that white boy, we gonna do it.
What did Captain America make?
Niggas acting like people want Anthony.
I ain't gonna hold you to. The one reason why I would say that Sage may be onto something.
ass nigga.
The one reason why I will say Sage may be onto something though with the T'Challa Jr. Even though I don't like it, is they doing a lot with these kids. They doing a lot. What they showcasing to us right now is this emphasis on like appearance retribution, and that may be something that also includes Doom. And it makes me curious if like this child that we saw in this teaser trailer for with Captain America is something that they're gonna try to reutilize in the future to make another Rogers Captain America. to Sage's point, bro, they do things differently. It's something that we just gotta kind of accept.
What are we
It
talking
doesn't
about?
always.
What kids are you talking
You
about?
remember? So you know how Steve Rogers in the trailer was holding the baby.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, there may be the goal of Marvel to then take this said child and make this said child into the next Captain America after Anthony Mackie. But I don't think that Steve Rogers will come back. I just don't. I think if anything, they would try to introduce a new Rogers as a Captain America. If they want to get away from the Black Captain America, they say we don't like it. It ain't working well. He was supposed to be Falcon. Whatever. Maybe it could be short lived. But I do think that there is going to be a somewhat of a phase with Anthony Mackie, and I think that phase just began. I don't think that is ending.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, Captain America 1, the first Avenger, made.
Oh, he
around
froze.
$200 to $300 million.
Yeah, but see,
I'm sorry,
I don't like
370
doing that.
million worldwide.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more on the side of D and everybody else with that when it comes to that, because, bro, you gotta take into consideration like real world stuff, inflation. It's a bunch of different things as to why these movies ain't making more. Like when that's why when people were critical about Superman and the idea that Zack Snyder's Superman made more money than this Superman that we just got, I think that was more so of a reflection point. But when you talk about like the idea of there being less money that's made on a movie versus like almost 20 years ago versus movies that's today, that don't really do nothing for me. Like movies cost more to go to, period.
Y'all, listen to this real quick though. Y'all talking about completing stories. Niggas would we seen The Rock in damn near 20 movies a year with niggas ain't have completed arcs. Them Fast and Furious joint, they said, fuck Vin Diesel. Bringing that nigga The Rock.
Do you classify those movies as good movies?
Yes. Classic.
Fuck no! This is where I draw the line. Fast and Furious hasn't been good since Fast and Furious 2.
But wait. But it did a Billy. Didn't it do a Billy?
These niggas was driving cars in outer space. I don't want to hear that shit.
But Rob,
at the time when niggas is hot, that's when they bring them in. You talking about The Rock? They said we gonna put The Rock in this. He gonna voice act in Moana. He gonna do this. Anytime they attach Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they attach star power. Why did they have Will Smith as Deadshot, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Jared Leto as Joker? Why do they have this star power? You don't get a nigga like Damson Idris to be like, chill, nigga. Let Shuri finish her shit off.
But he not chilling. He's
Shuri's name in real life.
But if he's listen,
ass niggas.
Letitia Wright.
Rob, you just got Google fingers. You ain't know that shit.
How did I Google it that fast?
I love Letitia Wright.
I brought that as soon as you asked it. Letitia Wright.
I'm telling y'all, nobody, if you see on a poster right now, you walk into the movie theaters with your girl, with your kids, with a group of people, and it says fucking, I don't know, it just says Letitia Wright on the poster. You can be like, I wonder what that is.
You would be surprised. There's a lot of people that are fans of Letitia Wright.
So if niggas is really looking for Letitia Wright like that, how come Black Panther only made 800 some odd million and the first one made
that's not something to scoff about. Movies don't make 800 million.
800 million is a good number, bro.
Movies do not make over.
That nigga passed away and they walked in like, what the
movies do not make routinely over 500 to 600 million, regardless of it's the movie that's good or not.
Out of here!
I'm talking about movies in general.
Rob, but
movies in general do not make a 800 mil global.
How much money you think Black Panther 2 would have made if they recast the nigga?
Shazam made 366 million worldwide.
Jesus Christ.
Ass!
How much money do you think Black Panther 2? I want y'all to
don't skip past that, nigga.
Not from a story standpoint. Look, imagine you in the office with Kevin Feige and all these execs, and they got on their little bum ass suits, and they sitting there thinking, how can we make the most money this year? We know we're gonna make it from merchandise and all that other shit.
They can say all of that, but
Why
Derek,
wouldn't they say
you're
that?
missing
Who we
a
gonna bring in
pivotal.
to-
You're
who we gonna bring
missing.
in to
You're
beat T'Challa?
missing. You're missing the most pivotal part of this shit. Ryan Coogler, the director and writer for Black Panther, was close to the actor. All of the people on set was close to the actor. I don't give a fuck what other these fans say. This is from Ryan Coogler's point of view. I could give two fucks what the fans want to do. What I'm going to do is set a movie that rightfully puts Chadwick Boseman in the light that he's supposed to be in. I don't give a fuck what the fans think. And the fans are either gonna like it or they're gonna hate it. But regardless, these niggas is gonna be in the seats to watch the movie. And that's what niggas did.
So why we got Dams and Idris now?
For sequel.
Because eventually that was
No,
always
Ryan
the
Coogler should've walked up
plan.
there with that fucked up ass mustache, with that
No.
stupid ass accent. He said, "No, homie, fuck that."
No, because
I wanna
that's
finish
not
the
how
story.
emotions work with niggas. If you lose somebody close to you, you just gonna move on the next week? No, you just gonna move on the next month? No, you just gonna move on the next 3 months? No, it takes time.
Wow.
And this is all that niggas is trying to do.
I do think that time
And
is.
this-
I do think that the time has.
It's been 6 years.
Listen. I do
That's
think that we've had
enough
enough
time.
time. What is so wrong with them introducing him in Secret Wars? Can I have that answer? What's so wrong about that?
They doing a movie before Secret Wars. It's
Sure.
Black Panther.
It's not a Black Panther movie. Are they doing Black Panther
you
3
know?
before Secret Wars?
They're
How
doing
you
Black
know?
Panther 3 after Secret Wars. Supposedly it might be the next film after Secret Wars, just like it was for Infinity War.
If Black Panther 3 comes out before Secret Wars, then yes, I do think that somehow at the end of Doomsday, they will give us this new character, because why would they not want to showcase him in the Black Panther 3 movie that's coming out before Doomsday or
I
Secret
think-
Wars? But I don't think that Black Panther 3 is coming out before Secret Wars.
Let's say it don't come out. I agree with Rob. Fuck it. Black Panther mantle, just give it to Shuri. I don't want to see no nigga named T'Challa ever again, just so this nigga can have his moment of bereavement.
That's not
Just so
the
this nigga can
point
wait
that I'm
6 years and
making.
be like, I'm still not ready to.
That's not the
I think-
point
I
that I'm
think
making.
The Shuri window is closing, bro. I don't think that it's. I do
closing.
think it's
It was
closing.
never open.
It was
It
open.
was.
Look at my
It's-
charger.
It was open. It was open in Black Panther 2, though, bro.
It was. That's why it
They,
made
it's
800
fine.
plus
It's if they
million,
if they take Doomsday to close that chapter, I don't think that there's any problem with that. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think you can progress Namor. I think you could you could have a good resound position for Shuri, and I think that Secret Wars can open the door for the new.
Hear me out
And
real
I think
quick.
that's what they want.
Hear me out real quick. You wake up one morning, you got beef with a Puerto Rican nigga you seen on the west side of Buffalo off rip for some reason.
Yo,
I don't know where this is going, but okay.
Out of nowhere, you go to your mom crib. You like,
Oh,
what the
I get
fuck is-
it.
What is all this shit? Bathtub overflowed. Your mom was in the basement. She drowned because of that nigga. You mean to tell me you gonna be like, bro, let bygones be bygones. We gonna fight. But now my family gonna work with your family. You just bring over some pastelitos to the repast. We gonna have a good time.
You
And
gonna
then,
jeopardize your whole entire
So
civilization
why
for
the
this
fuck
nigga.
did
Nation
Shuri
is-
lose her brother and her mother and half her people, and she got to be bereft and be like, "Fuck it, I got to work for Namor." And the
Yes,
director of
because
the film
that's
is
what
like,
you.
"Fuck it, my
That's
nation
what.
ass."
That's what's needed as a leader. If she
Listen.
would have went to war with
but remember, she's
Namor
not a
and his
leader
people,
currently.
if
M'Baku's
she
the king
would have
right
went
now.
to war with Namor and his people, Wakanda, her, and everybody else in the surrounding areas would have been cooked.
Yo, like,
Cooked.
listen. Let's look at a real world example
I just
of
gave you
this. No, hold on. Let's look at on a nation scale. Let's look at a real world example that just happened. The U.S. just up and took another country's leader. They could respond. They have every right to be able to respond to that aggressively.
Will they? No.
But they can't. To Sage's point, it's a nation, bro. You gotta think about everybody's well-being. and take decisions that you don't necessarily want to take. Shuri in that Black Panther 2 movie, she made a decision not thinking of herself, not thinking of what she wanted to do in that moment, but thinking about what was actually going to give the preservation of her nation. And in the beginning of the film, we were seeing how so much that was a situation of contempt, because that was what her mom was arguing and trying to keep, was this idea of, okay, look, we getting a lot more pressure from the nations around us, including the United States. We got to handle this appropriately. Shuri saw that moment at the end of the film and said, okay, look, my emotions want me to react by killing this man, but I'm not going to stoop to that level because I have to think about an entire nation. It's not, there's nothing about
who in
that.
Venezuela is Shuri right now?
So who prevented what?
Who in Venezuela is represented as Shuri right now?
The vice president that assumed. The vice president.
Wakanda is Venezuela right
Wakanda,
now.
not Venezuela. Wakanda.
Yes, it is. Did Venezuela? Hold up. Did Wakanda get bombed just like Venezuela? Yes, they did. Did Venezuela get what's the word? Infiltrated by a foreign nation, took their whole president, their leader, and left out like nothing happened. Not one U.S. person died. That was Namor to Wakanda. He killed multiple people.
You're not
killed
understanding. The first lady and the president of Venezuela are still alive. Angela Bassett was drowned in a hot tub by that nigga.
I understand it towards it. If the U.S. were to execute, if the U.S. were to execute the Venezuelan president that we just got, Venezuela still got to be very, very careful and cautious about what response they gonna have. They have to. They're a nation.
We already in a comic book universe where Wakandans is just pussy. That's all I'm.
No. Because in the comics in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, see.
No.
This is with T'Challa as the Black Panther, as the leader of Wakanda. T'Challa in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, Namor just attacked and killed hella Wakandans, and yet he was working right alongside Namor in the Illuminati. Why?
He didn't kill his fucking mom.
He killed hella Wakandans, and don't matter if he killed his mom or not.
Nigga.
Why did he work with him? Why did he work alongside Namor? Why? No, answer the question. Why did he work alongside him?
We're talking about something on a psychological level right now. If you're talking about some shit and I'm running the country and you come in and they say, sir, they bombed Buffalo, New York. It's about 8,000 niggas. Let's say they bombed fucking Syracuse and it's like 8,000 niggas dead. I'm running New York State like Wakanda. I'm like, damn, it's 8,000 people gone. Fuck, my heart goes out to their families. We gotta retaliate. We gotta see what the fuck going on.
You gotta take the best strategic course.
Sir, they just took your mom, put a bag over her head, and threw her in the lake. Yeah, send the nuke they way.
Wakanda don't got a nuke.
If them niggas could hide in Africa for centuries, in Africa for centuries from nobody from the rest of the world, and nobody could detect them. I'm not buying that. Bro, I'm not buying that they don't have highly advanced weapons. When we see them fight,
they are just as advanced.
Fucking lasers.
They are just as advanced, and every single person in Talokan also was being fueled by their herb. The same herb that gives Black Panther his powers. You want to know why them niggas was blue and able to breathe underwater? It's because of the herb. You want to know why them niggas was so strong? The herb that was the same exact fucking herb in Wakanda. It was just the underwater version. Every nigga in their nation was fueled by this herb. You cannot go against them niggas, and you have a whole slew of regular niggas on your side, while they got a whole slew of super powered individuals on their side, super soldiers. You cannot go against them niggas and expect minimal laws and expect that you still keep your kingdom after that. Them niggas is more powerful than you. They're just as technologically advanced as you. They have the water on their side, which if niggas forgot, that's most of the earth. They have
in like the middle of Africa.
They have every single yet and still nonetheless these aquatic niggas infiltrated you from the little body of water that you had in downtown Wakanda and fucked up thousands of niggas in one afternoon. One afternoon.
So what I'm hearing is in Doomsday and Secret War, these Talokan niggas is finna show they ass and save the day.
No, because they not that strong.
No, I do think, don't say that. I do think that they will have a level of power.
Niggas is power scaling and moving shit around. You can't tell me.
Are you telling me Talokan niggas?
I'm not going to say that, but I do think that they will be a credible power. Now, it may be something that Doom takes advantage of as opposed to the heroes, but I do think that they will pose a credible threat as a nation. I do think that. And see, in Doomsday,
they gonna show like 3 of them blue niggas, and then it's just gonna be raps from there.
I mean, they already showed three of them blue niggas already in the teaser trailer. So
that's the only ones we gonna see.
Who knows?
I do think
Namor might join this side.
Incredible thought. I do think that they will. There'll be a pop. Put it like this: I would not be surprised if Namor and his forces were to be looked at as a credible either asset or a credible threat, depending on what side they're on. I wouldn't be shocked by that. I think they have been demonstrated to be that in the MCU. They have been something that is like not something just necessarily to scoff over. I think the Russo brothers are going to take a bunch of stories, some that worked, some that didn't. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to weave a conclusion for that while simultaneously opening up us to a new era in Marvel and a new era well, not Marvel, but a new era for the MCU. And I think that's what these two movies are meant to do. I think there's a finality that's supposed to happen between these two movies. I don't think that there's a finality I don't think that they just close everything off to begin Doomsday, but I do think that between Doomsday and between Secret Wars, that's where we start to get the finality of things. I think that's where we get a finality of the old X-Men, the Fox X-Men. I think that's where we will get that is between these two movies. I think that the era of Shuri as Black Panther, we will get a finality with that. I think that with Loki as an example, I think that we will get a finality with that. I think that this is what these two movies are supposed to be, kind of like a network between the two, but they're supposed to solve that. It's two purposes. It's two purposes with this. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think this is what the Russos learned from the previous two Avengers movies that they did, is that they were trying to make a satisfaction for the ending of the Infinity Saga, like the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Saga, but where they made a mistake was they didn't think, how do we advance the future beyond it? And I think once they left, that's what Marvel had to deal with and why we had as much struggle as we did. So I think the learning lesson from that as we come into these new two part 1 and part 2s of Avengers movies is, hey, we don't just have the finality to things, we also usher in the new. And I think that's what I think it's going to be a bridge. I think that these two movies are going to be a bridge in towards completing that.
Actually not, because the Russos came out and said that this was always the plan. So them niggas be lying, and we just eat up anything they say. This was always the plan, but they closed the chapter.
They won't admit it. They listen.
No,
they won't admit the mistake.
It was supposed to be the finality, but we back with Captain America bringing about incursions because he had a fucking baby.
They didn't do it right from the Infinity Saga ending, and I think they learned from
always
that.
The goal. If they say this is always the goal, they just giving us bullshit anyway.
They giving us bullshit. That's fine.
That's why. Well, that's one of the reasons why we're getting the re-release of Endgame. That's literally what. If they said they had this plan all along, now they're giving us like a different ending for Endgame leading into this.
Which proves, to T's point too, which proves that they didn't have it originally. Or at least if they did have it originally, that's not what they presented to us. They didn't present to us that. So I think now this is where they learning lesson. You have to present how this ushers us into the next era, the next saga, whatever words you want to use. I think they learned their lesson with that. I genuinely do. I don't think they can't end this like they did the Infinity Saga. They can't do that. We can't do that going into the X-Men saga. We have to have setup. And I think that's what again, I just really do think that's going to be the big difference between these two Avengers movies and the previous one. And they're going to try to draw it all together for the end. But then with the new, to be a buck with you, D, I think you gonna like Secret Wars more than Doomsday. I think I already feel confident saying that. I think that Secret Wars is going to be the movie that will loop you in, and Doomsday is going to be the movie that's going to probably leave you a little disappointed. And not just you. I think that's going to be a case for a lot of fans. Now, how they maneuver that or how they sell that / market that, I don't know. But I do think that might be the case for a lot of people. That's not exactly how I think I would come out of Doomsday, but I do think that understandably, that is how a lot of fans will feel. I do get it. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't get it, because I'm not one of those people who going to sit here and say Marvel ain't did any wrongs. I think Marvel has done wrongs, and I think that now, even in them solving it, they going to have some difficulties. And they doing a great job marketing Doomsday. But if Doomsday is one where it leaves a lot of fans upset, they're going to have to do a even more incredible job marketing Secret Wars to be something that those same fans need to come back to. But it's just where we at. That's, if you ask me, I think it's just where we're at with everything that's happened. We had She-Hulk, we had Secret Invasions, we had a lot of things that were just bad. So I think this is the cleanup. All of this is the cleanup. And some things gonna go right, and some things may not make people pleased.
I don't think they're gonna use an Avengers movie to be cleaning shit up, though.
I don't think they have a choice.
They don't.
I don't think they have a choice.
They have to. Secret Wars is gonna be that cleanup.
I mean, well, the ending is gonna be like, all right, we're gonna do a reset. But I mean, we already seen the type of shit they're gonna be pushing out with. What's that X-Men, that little green blob joint, and all these fucking teams? I know that's just promo art, but it's like, nigga, where this shit going? That's
why like I really have been training myself to really not care about any of the information that's been coming out, to be honest with you, unless it comes from Marvel directly. Because let's say that all of that stuff is true. I have no way of piecing that together in what we've been given in this most recent saga. I have no way of understanding it or digesting it. So I just have to wait for Marvel anyways. That's why I'm taking all of it with a grain of salt, because it's a lot of, the Multiverse Saga went bad. Like look, Sage, I know we could say that there was movies that came out of it that was good, but overall, Multiverse Saga went bad.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
We gotta clean all of this up, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but apparently enough of important people within the Marvel landscape have all come together and said we got a plan. So I'm just having faith in that plan, but I think a lot of the information and stuff that we get of people that's coming out is them trying to pull it out. They want to pull it. They just want to pull this greatness out. But ultimately, I think we just gotta wait and see what the Russos and what Kevin Feige got planned. That's it, man. Like there's enough stuff here for everyone to be upset, and there's enough stuff here for everyone to be satisfied or to have a satisfactory ending. It's just they gotta figure it out. They gotta figure out how to get us there. And I don't know. Maybe some people they disappoint along the way.
Derek will be one of them.
It's a lot, it's a lot riding on this movie. But I think they've done a good job of letting us get excited about it. But it's a lot riding on this movie.
with us knowing the runtime being close to 3 hours and 45 minutes, and Spider-Man
don't-
being literally like 2.5 hours, will we see
We don't necessarily
Secret
know that.
War? Got you. But do you think Secret Wars will need to be close to that same amount of time for as Doomsday, if that runtime does still stand?
I think
If Doomsday is
2.5
3 hours
for
and 45
Doomsday.
minutes, Secret Wars only got to be about 3 hours.
I'm
They
thinking
both need
Doomsday
to be
gonna
in
be
a 3
around
hour
two.
range.
Two and change, and then Secret Wars is probably gonna be around a little bit over 3. I personally think that, because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if that was the same way with Infinity War and Endgame. I think Infinity War was shorter than Endgame, based on all the shit that they got to do. Because they, again, once they reset it, they have to give like a soft introduction to the changes that they made, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like a Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, I believe after all the events happened, they did like a 8 months later tagline, and then they went through all of the things that have changed for the universe. Miles Morales staying in this universe now.
Right.
with
Old
his
man
family.
Logan.
Old man Logan, all of this jazz. So I think if they're smart enough, somebody said on Twitter, this would be like, this is where it would hit. If they're smart enough, they'd do that, and I think that'll take at least like 15-20 minutes for them to be able to flesh out everything that's going on. You don't have to go too in depth, but I think Secret Wars is gonna be like around 3 hours. It got to be a Harry Potter level type of fucking watch.
Give me an intermission in that joint.
Go get some more
That'd be
popcorn.
I'm so good ass.
All right. Well, sad to say, I got more news that might fuck y'all up about Marvel. Might make y'all get upset. Blade is rumored to be solo movie is rumored to be deleted as of right now. This is Mahershala Ali's Blade. Supposedly, it doesn't mean that the character won't show up, and he'll actually be moved to a Midnight Suns movie where he will supposedly make his introduction. How do y'all feel about those rumors? Are y'all happy that at least they didn't release some shit that they couldn't, for whatever reason, get a hold of, and decided to move it back to a Midnight Suns, which might be just a little bit easier to make, especially if you're introducing like a Ghost Rider as well. Some pivotal characters that they could use. Or are y'all upset that they're actually deleting this film right now and pushing it to Midnight Suns?
It would have been cool to have that, but due to things going back and forth, I'm kind of okay with this. We'll be able to get the full Midnight Suns with Doctor Strange, and I know Deadpool was a part of it at some point in time. You can bring him in that, like
Possibly Wolverine.
Possibly Wolverine. And Ghost Rider. You can introduce Ghost Rider in Midnight Suns, which could help build upon some more solo movies. It could push for us to get a Blade solo movie if it's if it's taken in a good light. So it's honestly, I kind of like this route, because with all the back and forth with Blade, we're gonna get it, we're not gonna get it. We're gonna get it, we're not gonna get it. We're gonna get it, we're not gonna get it. Now the fact that you can still use the Blade character in this movie, if he is well received, then we can look at a solo movie. It will give you time to actually pitch it to different writers and directors. Like, hey, we got this movie coming up with Blade in it. Can you look at doing a solo movie right after? And we can see if they can actually do it in the background without people actually knowing what's going on.
I want to go
everybody
back
else.
to this one. D, what you think?
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, they announced Mahershala Ali as Blade years and years ago, so it's like at this point you might as well introduce him in a team-up movie or something. Then once that popularity rises, just be like, all right, let's do a solo Blade movie. Because I mean, at this point, it's like, damn, like we waiting this long for a nigga that fight vampires. Like it can't be nothing that hard for somebody to just give you a story about that, bro. Like it don't have to
Yeah.
be a save the world story. You know what I'm talking about? Like it don't have to be on that scale. But it's just like I think Midnight Suns can be sort of a mythic or like some type of arcane level.
You can utilize Mephisto.
Yeah, exactly. Like just do something like that, and then just like especially if you're introducing Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, like you have the different dimensions, you have different uh beasts they're gonna be fighting, and all this other magic and mystic shit. Like from there, then you can break off and do a Blade movie. But at this point, I don't want it to be like, yeah, we doing Blade, then there's 2 more years later, then this nigga's already like 55 playing Blade.
I think this might be their best bet moving forward, with Blade specifically. Like a lot of y'all were saying, it could bring up like the most, what's the word, awareness towards this new Blade. If we get him in a team up movie, rumors are Mephisto will be the big bad. Speculations talking about the stories that they was doing, possibly the comic book storyline when Mephisto takes over Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the stories that they were thinking about. But I think it would be a nice way to introduce a lot of characters and then build up that interest for those characters to branch out and then make their solo debuts, such as a Ghost Rider, whoever they choose to recast as Ghost Rider, such as the Mahershala Ali's, such as the Ironheart, possibly, since she has connections with Mephisto, and anybody else that might have connections. I'm sad. I wanted to see a Mahershala Ali Blade, but I also understand they're probably constrained a lot trying to fit in storylines within the phase right now. Because if you could release in a Blade movie, it has to fit into what they're doing right now, and it just doesn't. There's nothing mystical about this multiversal phase that just screams that Blade should be a part of it. If Doctor Doom came down here and then Blade came out of nowhere and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight you," niggas gonna be like, "Where this nigga come from?"
Do
Respectfully,
you think it would be smart to bring him in on Secret Wars?
Possibly, but I think more so than that, they wouldn't do it Mahershala Ali for Secret Wars. I think they would more so do it for Wesley Snipes, and to really give off the proper send off for all of these characters, the one last hurrah, and then probably like at the end of Secret Wars, possibly tease towards Mahershala Ali and a Ghost Rider and all of that jazz. But they got a lot to be able to nip in the bud, and I think just Blade was just one of the casualties for that. Just like the Strange Academy was a casualty, and all of the other projects that they were thinking of at this present point in time. Nova, they've been thinking about for fucking years now, and they still haven't done that. So it's just a casualty. What about you, Krokos?
All right. Sorry, I had to yawn. So, my opinion is pending. Now, there's a part of me that's on the same side as you guys, but then there's another part of me that's not, and I want to explain the part of me that's not on the same side of you guys. The part of me that's not on the same side as you guys is the one who goes by statistic success and just what has happened for Marvel or the Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far. When we get to the point of a team up movie, we tend to have more success when that character has been previously introduced. Now, I'm not saying that for the Midnight Suns that all of the characters won't be introduced, but like if we took Ghost Rider and Blade as an example, and these are two characters that's completely new to the MCU, that could start to, in my opinion, cause a little bit of an issue in regards to reception from fans, depending on how strong that movie is. Now, and again, I want you guys to remember that my viewpoint in regards to this is just one that's pending. I'm not saying that what I'm saying right now completely defines how I feel. It's just a side or an aspect of how I feel. With going forward, to kind of back what I just got done saying, I'll illustrate some points with the Avengers movies as an example. Well, with the first Avengers movie as an example, when we first got the Avengers, we got these characters and iterations beforehand. Okay. and that helps boost that ability for it to be successful. I'm not saying that it's everything that contributes to that movie being a success, but it is something that eases the process for your movie. And in turn, with a movie like Eternals, one that I didn't think was that bad, we were getting a new introduction to all of the characters, and we saw how that movie didn't necessarily get the same acclaim as other iterations of groups that we've seen. Now, to that point, I do want to kind of contradict myself a little bit here. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a mix, right? We had Black Widow's sister, who we had seen previously. If anybody has watched the Black Widow straight to streaming movie that did come out, we've already had a background with the Red Guardian. We've also had a background with Bucky. A lot of those characters we did have a lot of background with, but there were some characters that we did not have a lot of experience with, or characters in that we didn't have any experience with at all. And that movie tend to end up being a success. So I do think that there is room for, if they do the Midnight Suns, and there are less characters that we haven't been introduced, as opposed to more characters that have been introduced, to where there's, like, let's say as an example, the team is 5 people and 2 of them we haven't been introduced to, but the other 3 we do have some type of a background on. It would statistically, it would be ill for me. It would be more or less wrong for me to say that that movie can't have success, or that there couldn't be a lenience of success or potential of success for that movie, because again, we saw that with Thunderbolts. But again, if we look at and then there's also the example of Guardians. Like, Guardians was a risk that Marvel took. It ended up being a great risk. There's also the opportunity that Midnight Suns could end up potentially being like that if these are characters who we aren't as familiar with. I do understand that, but again, as far as many outliers as we possibly could have, or people, or examples that could potentially be kind of on against the realm of us being known to the characters before getting a team up, there still exists where we do have the team ups, or where we do have an introduction to those characters before the team ups, i.e., again, an Avengers or Marvels. There's examples of it that kind of exist there. So I think, like, almost kind of look at it like a scale. You know how we see those scales? I would say that the scales is kind of like evened out right now. And because it's evened out, it doesn't give me as much confidence either way that it'll go. So that's why I say pending. It's something where I do think, depending on how we go, especially into the next saga, which is where I would imagine this movie or TV show or whatever it is will come out in, if they put us in the right position for it, in movies like Secret Wars or some of the other content that's going to come out in the earlier phases, if Midnight Suns isn't, for the Mutant Saga, that's where I think my confidence can kind of rise more. But I can see it either way. That's my piece.
Alrighty. Hopefully Marvel gets it together with Blade.
I will say this though. Can I just add one more point? Mm-hmm. Love all of the points y'all brought up. I thought all of y'all brought up great points. To the point with D and Nino, the idea of reversing order. It could work. It could be great. It could work and it could be great, and it buys them more time. If Blade is something that they've been struggling personally to make, why not buy yourself more time but also still introduce us to this character? So I think you guys had like really good points, and it actually evolved my thought process on this from just hearing y'all points. So I don't want to underscore that at all. That's it. Now I'm done.
Bet. I think we're just gonna do the last topic now. It's getting a little
yeah.
Doomsday trailers, the teasers are still coming out every week. Black Panther, Shuri, the Wakandans, some of the Talokan people, Namor's people, and The Thing was in this most recent teaser trailer. If you haven't popped into it, it'll probably drop tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, on Marvel Studios or wherever they release all their content. So be on the lookout for that. I wanted to ask, are the Doomsday teasers working? But we might as well wait until the finality of these teasers at least. More so interested in Sony, or this leak, this rumor that's saying that Sony is now more interested in allowing their Spider-Man characters that they own to be used by Marvel Studios. This is something that came out recently, meaning that Craven, Venom, anybody under the sun that Sony technically owns, Kingpin, and all of that jazz can be, it looks like, and will be used more so from Marvel's standpoint instead of Sony trying to make singular movies for these niggas. Because who told them that was a smart idea to begin with? Yes, I don't know why they came up to that conclusion, but nonetheless they did. But it seems like they have rectified and learned the error of their ways. Are y'all excited? Are y'all not? Y'all about it? How y'all feeling?
The fact that we can finally get Kingpin in a Spider-Man or Daredevil, if they do make a Daredevil movie, like being able to utilize that actor in that space, it's going to do a lot for that area of the Marvel of the MCU, because Kingpin is a pivotal villain. He, whether it be street level, whether it be like what have you, like he could be used in a bigger light than just in a TV setting. You can get Craven in a Black Panther movie, which they wanted him in the beginning.
Craven in that Black Panther movie still gives me goosebumps because that should have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. To T's
Craven a Spider-Man one.
Yeah. To T's point, I do agree with that. I think, like, first of all, let's just look at it. Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin, at least from what we've seen from the TV series side, has done a very good job of it. He's somebody who I will not have an issue with having elevated to the next level, being a motion picture. Yeah, dude, he that would be great to see. That would be amazing to see. I think that Sony should have came to this decision a little bit earlier, because we've seen so many different failures, and it didn't have to necessarily be failures. Almost every single one of these Sony movies that's come out that have absolutely dropped the bucket, these are movies that easily could have been implemented. These are characters that easily could have been implemented in the Tom Holland Spider-Man world, and with the direction of Marvel, they could have been fleshed out more. And then from what Marvel has kind of helped you to formulate, you could have then probably made a lot stronger of a movie. And I think that's probably the formula that they're seeing now, is that, you know what, when these movies go through Marvel, they tend to be more successful, they tend to be well received, they tend to be written better. So why not let our characters kind of go through a, like okay, it's the first example that came to my head. You know how, like, in not war movies, but in like apocalypse movies, when somebody is out in the world and they like got like biohazard chemicals on them, they got to go through that wash, and then they can come into the actual place where everybody is at. Sony kind of need that with the characters that they have with Spider-Man. They need them to go. They need for them to start in this Sony, controlled world, and then they need to get the MCU wash, and then I think from there, Sony will be able to make them fit more in a overall Marvel comic book universe extension. And why not? Why? It just, I don't know. I can't find any negative for Sony in doing that. As well as that, I think that it probably would be better for Sony to make better relationships with Marvel. When we were talking about Warner Brothers, one of the things that we talked about was the idea of Sony getting them. And as much as a lot of people could probably hear us say that and say, y'all are absolutely crazy for thinking that, look at the stuff that's come out with them from superhero stuff, from a superhero perspective, we thought giving them a little bit more range could actually be something that could potentially help them. And I think that Sony, they weren't involved in Warner Brothers, but I think that Sony actually looking at what opportunities do exist for them here with Marvel, and expanding upon them and strengthening the relationship to seeing where they can be expanded upon is way more favorable for them for this IP, as opposed to them trying to do everything independently, which has been a failure and probably will continue to be a failure.
That's right. We don't want to see another version of Metaweb, Craven.
We don't want to see Morbius, right? We don't want to see none of that crap.
It's Morbin time.
Not at all. It only took them, what was it, 4 or 5 shitty movies by themselves? What was it? Let's go.
Luckily, it wasn't like a late enough. It was luckily, it wasn't a too late scenario.
Too late,
yeah.
What they have? They started with Morbius, and then they had.
It concluded with Craven, right?
It concluded with Craven. They had the Venom verse,
which was okay. It wasn't spectacular, but it was okay.
It wasn't bad. It was
they got too hyped about that. Yeah. They got way too hyped. You're not supposed to have that reaction from okay films. You're supposed to have that reaction if you make a Venom that's on the same level as a Spider-Man. Right. You know, like that's when you could kind of have that reaction. And the reality is, it was overreaction on Sony's part.
That was 3 Venom movies. So that's 4 right there. We got Madam Web, and then we got Craven to end it off. It took them 6 movies altogether, but finally they have come to their senses and understood, maybe we shouldn't use these villains without the main hero that fights them for most of the time in the goddamn comic books. So, hey, I guess if oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to that. Not even being funny. If I'm Sony, start getting in Marvel's great. Like, look, bro, not only do they make things better when they make things better for you when they're involved, but, bro, I want to have a better relationship because why not? Yo, you could be eating off these games. Bro. You could be eating off these games. Mm-hmm. Y'all got the studio to make the games. Y'all could be eating off these games. Like, you think Spider-Man is where it ends? Just get a good relationship with Marvel. The same way that Sony could say, we suck at making movies on our own. You can argue is the same point from Marvel when it comes to making games. If you already have a company that you work hand in hand with that has the capabilities to make the games that you want to see, I'm sure Marvel is like, look, we was just waiting for you to come to the table. That's what it feel like. So hopefully this means a lot more than just even the movies.
Crazy enough, the gaming studio Insomniac Games that is behind Spider-Man and eventually Wolverine, and supposedly eventually an X-Men game, they're already owned by Sony.
Exactly.
So it would just behoove them, but they have another studio over on Microsoft / Xbox that is producing a Blade game, but I completely understand.
Bro. We've seen that before. They don't work. The Marvel games don't work. When they go and link up with the Microsoft studio and do that whole thing, it doesn't work. Insomniac is a studio that can make it work. They could put some time behind it. They could put resources behind it. They gotta look, both these studios and stuff. We said this. Yo, you wanna know what's so crazy about this? We said this crap back on Crocco's Corner, bro. We had this same very discussion on Crocco's Corner that Sony and Marvel, this was back when Tom Holland was first rumored to not be coming back because of the contract disputes with Marvel and with Sony. Back then we said they got to stop looking at each other in such competitive measures, and they need to start looking at each other as we got a very unique and prosperous opportunity here. And here it is, 2026. I think we did that podcast in 2019. But here it is in 2026. The same thing that we was talking about is now what Sony is realizing. Oh, that actually makes sense. That's what happened. That's what happened. That was 7 years ago.
They make it hard to pat them on their backs for finally figuring out the error of their ways. But thank God it didn't take 10 more years. Thank God it did take 10 more years and fucking 2 more Craven films, another Madam
Right.
Web film, a Spider-Woman film, because supposedly it was a Spider-Woman film in the process of being worked through. And they just said, all right, we're dead at this. So thank God it didn't take more. I guess if we could give them any type of credit. But, you know, Sony
Work
gonna
to your
Sony.
strengths.
I mean,
Work to your strengths, and your partnership is one of your strengths.
They could come to Marvel and be like, hey, we got a lock on the animation sphere. Y'all know DC used to have all those animation movies and shows and everything. They used to have niggas on lock. Why don't we do that for y'all? See, y'all
We
don't
just
have
did
to use
Into the
live
Spider-Verse.
action. Y'all don't need the actors there. Y'all could pay them a lesser fee for just voice acting type of thing. And then we can handle the animation. Y'all could do some crazy storylines where you would need a super big budget in live action. And now we could do it for a little bit cheaper in the animated sphere. And folks love our animated films because look at Across the Spider-Verse. Look at Into the Spider-Verse. All of that jazz. I don't know who these executives be, but these niggas be acting like they should know.
It's money greed. That's the problem. It's that money greed, bro. It get in the way and it make common sense not look so common.
Nah, one thing, and we can leave off on this. One thing that I realized that made Sony so fucking stupid, I'm sorry for my language, so gosh darn stupid, is the fact that people was making memes of Morbius online on social media, and they thought that was people actually liking their films. So they re-released Morbius only to get even more abysmal numbers.
Because it's Morbin time.
It's crazy to think that Sony after that thought, let's release 4 more films. Five more films, make it. Let's release 5 more films and let's see how they do. Don't talk about Spider-Man at all. Don't bring him up. Don't reference him. None of that. Just 5 more films without Spider-Man. But Sony finally getting this straight. Hopefully Marvel gets it straight. DC is just cooking right now. Let's see what they do with this Warner Bros. Deal. Still, it's still up in the air. What's that Paramount Skydance looking like the old
eighth?
They
on bid 8th. They on the 8th bid. Excuse me.
They just can't take no for an answer. they just all over the place. So hopefully that sticks. They don't give it to Paramount. Maybe they don't go to Netflix either, depending on what Paramount is doing too. So we will be on the lookout for that. I don't know what's coming up in the foreseeable future. We got a lot of shit coming up. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. We got a lot of stuff coming up as well. So again, be on the lookout for that. More Marvel news, more DC news, more manhwa news, everything under the sun, gaming news as well. So yeah, we appreciate y'all yet again for stopping on by. Did y'all have any last comments or anything like that for the folks out there?
No, not really.
Thank you for tuning in. I wish that we would have had some people come into the chat. I always love it whenever we get some people into the chat. So maybe next show we can start getting some more people into the chat. Don't be afraid to pop in. We love hearing what you guys got to say, and we also are willing to make that something where we make it a part of the show. So, you know, anybody that's watching this after our live stream of it, we air sometime around 7 or 8 Eastern Standard Time on Sundays or Mondays. Please don't be afraid to stop on in.
Yes, sir. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Whichever platform that you want, follow us on Twitch if need be. Catch us out on all podcast platforms as well. Squad Nero Podcast. You can check us out on YouTube and Twitch as well. All right. We appreciate y'all yet again, and we'll be back next week. Did you do the roundtable talk for
Strange Things? Nah.
Stranger Things? No.
I was under.
We got a bunch. That's the thing. Everybody, just to kind of give you guys an update, everybody has been going through this crazy flu thing that's been going out, but we do have a bunch of content that we are working on to get out to you guys. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes, indeed. All right, so make sure you tapped in with all of your news, nerdy news, and everything like that. We appreciate y'all yet again, man. We'll catch y'all next week, and go Bills. Peace.
Like,
Yeah, I gotta head out because I gotta eat. I ain't had nothing all day, and I got food waiting on me.
I catch y'all later. Yo, see, you going on 2K?
I'll see how I feel. I got a chance.
Yeah, running trash bags of that green, whipping fast, the whip color of cocaine. I'm independent, they independent to stop these dreams on the road to riches. Focus on the ticket, maximize my means. It's like now I'm just trying to flow. There's a couple holes up in this boat. Dose my mind just so I can cool